Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1400. I can't count this high. This is much too high for any human being to possibly be able to count. 1434, I think is what it is today. Yes, 1434. I'm Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcaster Valley, 1434. 1434. I'm just so excited.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
By numbers. We're going to get a special guest, too, a little bit later on, as well as Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And we've got some news stories to get to that you'll find interesting. And then I'm going to add some reverb to my voice and sing la la la, la la, la la la, la 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 la. That sounds good. Well, yesterday's show, I think I discussed
Mike's Daily Podcast.
the song by what's-her-face, Taylor Swift, and that we're playing it
Mike's
at this radio station
Daily
that I work for. And I thought,
Podcast.
yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
And then I thought, where the heck? Oh, then I realized that there is a video that Shania Twain put out. Oh, that's right. I was talking about people who deconstruct themselves, who poke fun at themselves. Look who just walked in. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Video Queen. How's y'all doing?
That's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
You seem slightly distracted right now.
I am. I'm kind of thinking ahead in doing this show, and I thought I was going to have a photograph of myself, and I didn't have the photograph. Look who else walked in.
Hello, Mark. I make the delicious Irish beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh, boy.
So scary.
Here's today's podcast picture.
When he walks in, I have today's podcast picture right here. Oh, it is. Oh, yes, me with a chihuahua. Gosh dang it. I have so many photos, my friends. One of these days, I'm going to post this picture of me with a goatee in Alabama, and you're going to laugh and enjoy that photo. But that won't happen. I was at a wonderful party yesterday. Robert Owen Welsh, who used to do a segment called Welsh on the World. Should I play that little sweeper thingy?
Welsh on the world.
Excellent. All right, that's how it sounded, and he would usually say some funny things. He's a fun guy to talk to, and it was his birthday yesterday. He turned 37, and I can basically say anything I want about him because he doesn't listen to the show. So he's a nice guy, and I got him a bunch of candy because I know the dude has a sweet tooth. His parents are the nicest people. His friends are the nicest people. Oh, look at all these crows flying past Café Anyway. Caw, caw. They're everywhere. Do you know what you call a bunch of crows? A murder. Where's that sound effect now that had the ding? See, that came in handy there. So the podcast picture, this chihuahua is named Lola. And there's a guy I know who lives in a house that's shaped like a shoe. No, not a shoe, but it is on a wonderful piece of land that is part of it. But basically his neighbor is the East Bay Regional Park District, the Cole Canyon Park, where I take Basil the Boxer many a time. And Basil, in fact, is really good friends with this chihuahua. Albert is the guy's name who owns Lola, and he's got Portuguese in his blood. It pulses through his veins. Portuguesa. And so he teaches me some Portuguese words. Gosh, these crows are everywhere. If Basil could see this now, he would freak. He hates crows. He hates crows, cats, and squirrels. And snakes. He killed a snake the other day. Sorry, guys that love snakes. Haley. Sorry, Haley. It was a little one, and he came over, and, I don't know what it was, what the instinct took over. And he started stomping on it. It was crazy. Just chopped it into bits with his claws. And Basil's going to be 9 in a couple of weeks. So I guess I have a murderous dog who likes murder. So he likes to bark at murder, the crows. But at any rate, that's neither here nor there or over there. What is that over there? Oh my gosh, don't look directly at it, but that's pretty I would cuss right now, but I put the clean label on this podcast. But that's messed up in so many ways right over there. But we won't look at that. I'm judging. Maybe it's not messed up. Maybe I'm messed up, which is entirely possible. The point is that Shania Twain deconstructed herself in her video that came out before Taylor Swift's video. In her video for her song, I think Life's Gonna Get Better, or look what's coming up next in life, or some very positive type song. Sounds just like her cool poppy stuff that she did in the 90s. In the video, you see her kind of getting rid of all of her stuff, like some of her early personas. And, she had some big video. I completely forgot about her in the last show. I was talking about people that made fun of their own personas. I also forgot Moody Blues made fun of their persona in, what's that? In Your Wildest Dreams. Because, the Moody Blues had been around for 20 years at that point. And so they had their 60s era. And in the 80s, they were making fun of their 60s selves in the video to Wildest Dreams. Great song. But then Shania Twain in this video, she's kind of throwing out all the costumes she wore in her really popular videos from the 90s. And one of the costumes that comes out is the one she did for Man, I Feel Like a Woman, where she poked fun in that video. See how this theme is just totally getting robust and working so well in this podcast today. She made fun of Robert Palmer's Addicted to Love video and Simply Irresistible video, where instead of having a bunch of women standing behind him looking blank-faced, it was her, behind her was a bunch of guys, which you probably saw this video. Is very famous. So she puts on that outfit that she wore in Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and still fits in it, still looks great, and she's right at 60 or just past 60, I forget. So the song is really cute and poppy, and the video is fun, and she's deconstructing herself, and did that before Taylor Swift, also a country star that went pop. Only when Shania Twain went really pop, the country community rebelled against her, and then the pop community rebelled against her, and then she was basically out. And that everything went to hell because her husband was cheating on her. And in the video to this song, she has a picture of her with Mutt Lange, the producer husband of hers that produced all of her stuff and also produced music for The Cars, AC/DC, wrote songs for Heart, Billy Ocean, Backstreet Boys. In the video, and he never gets himself photographed. He avoids getting himself photographed. In the video, she shows a picture of her with him, turns the picture upside down, and he falls out of the picture, and then she's by herself again. So she's kind of poking fun at Mutt Lange, and I enjoyed it so much. So there we go. Videos where people make fun of themselves, make fun of other people in the world of music videos. Do you even watch music videos? Does anyone watch those anymore? I guess that's a question that we'll just leave out there, or you can answer it at 336MM Daily. Oh my God, look at Stop By! Say hi really fast. Look at that microphone over there.
Hi, Mike Matthews.
Hey, look at Stormy Phoenix! She's never been on my podcast before.
Caw-caw!
I was just talking about crows, because there's all these crows flying around Café Anyway right now.
Really? No, there's no seagulls?
No, just crows.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what a phoenix sounds like. Like that song that the fox says. So if you find a sound bite or a drop that sounds like a phoenix, let me know.
It would sound like it would have fire flying out of its
bursting,
mouth.
Yeah. Just like there's fires in Yosemite right now. All those birds are turning into phoenix.
Is that where all the smoke came from?
Yeah, that's why it looks kind of hazy looking. Purple haze!
Purple, I never meant to cause you any sorrow. Wait, what's your shirt say?
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Who's that?
It's a popular 90s supernatural cartoon that was on Cartoon Network.
Oh, yeah.
About a dog named Courage who's actually a scaredy cat, but his whole mission in the show is to save or rescue his, like, masters, I guess, like his pet owners. Because they always are not really into trouble, but trouble's looking out, going after them.
I have to watch this.
Yeah, I can't remember how many seasons, but it's an elderly couple, and just recently, the one that voiced Hughes passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know so much about all this, and you know a lot about 80s music.
I do.
And you weren't even born in the 80s.
I know. Yeah, actually, you know what? Wayne, he did that What Year Was It on his show, and I got the year right because they played a clip of Breakfast Club, and then I was telling him the whole John Hughes timeline. I'm like, all right, 1984, 16 Candles, 1985, Breakfast Club, 1986, Pretty in Pink, 1987, Some Kind of Wonderful. He just, like, leans in towards me, and he's like, how old are you? And it's like, old enough.
You forgot Weird Science. He didn't he co-write that or something?
He did. He might have directed that. I know he for sure directed 16 Candles. That was his directorial debut, and then he started producing, and then Howard Dutch was directing Some Kind of Wonderful and Pretty in Pink. Weird Science, probably maybe after Breakfast Club. That one I'm not too sure. Like, it had to be around, that time because Anthony Michael Hall's in it. So 85,
I have a computer.
maybe 86.
I could look this up.
Yeah, either those 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
And then Uncle Buck might have been 89.
That's right, Uncle Buck.
Yeah.
This turned into a John Hughes.
And then Ferris Bueller might be 85 too.
Oh,
Maybe.
that's right. He wrote that.
Yeah.
Oh, John Hughes did direct Weird Science.
Yeah.
And every movie he did back in the 80s had a great soundtrack.
They did.
All these.
I did a whole John Hughes essay for high school in my junior year, and I saved it on my laptop. Then my laptop crashed and it disappeared.
Aww.
It was such a good essay. But I did talk about the music he used in his films and how it kind of was the pushing point to discovering these new wave artists.
Yeah, it was, and like, Don't You Forget About Me, that song still gets played 300 billion times a day.
Yeah, which actually originally it was supposed to go to Billy Idol.
That's right. That's why he sounds like Billy Idol in that.
Really?
To me, he does. Jim Kerr from Simple Minds.
I don't know. I don't hear Idol.
But Billy Idol has done that song since. I think he put it on his greatest hits.
He did. I actually have that greatest hits.
That's Stormy Phoenix. Where can they find you online?
Oh, geez. Well, we do both have a Mixcloud, and I have an ancient Wix.com account that I haven't updated since forever.
Oh, okay. So look for Stormy on Mixcloud under Stormy Phoenix.
Yeah.
Mixcloud.com. I set the microphone up for you because I knew you were going to show.
Oh my gosh.
And look, I still didn't.
And you know what? It's not even the right height, you jerk.
I thought you were a little bit taller. I don't know. I mean,
Kelly would be laughing right now.
You're the perfect height, believe me. It's good. Now, where are you going today? You're dressed up so cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with a friend afterwards.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And you got me it quickly.
Yep, and it was quick, just not me looking for parking wasn't that quick. So I had to park at the California Kitchen customer service. I'm like, screw it, I'll take my chances. I'm gonna be like in and out, like I said.
Quickly, actually not that quick. I've gone there before and waited 20 minutes.
Unless you're promoting Quickly, like they're a sponsor on your show.
Yeah, Quickly sucks. They didn't get. But Stormy Phoenix is awesome because she brought me in quickly.
Thank you. Gracias.
Okay, that's Russian for something, right? Gracias.
Oh my god.
That's Spanish, I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Nein, that's just Luftballons. There you go. I'll end it that way.
Oh, wow, you went German. How cool. Thank you, Stormy. And there she goes, leaving Café Anyway. Busy, busy lady. And here it is, Labor Day, and this woman is so busy doing so many things all the time. Work, work, work. I hope she gets to enjoy her Labor Day a little bit. But I have a Quickly, and now I am drinking hardcore tapioca pearls that are going to clog up my body, and I will die. Maybe not today. Hopefully not today. Someday it will happen to us all. No one gets out of here alive. And other songs written by Don Henley. He had that one line, you don't see any hearses with luggage racks. I listened to entirely too much Don Henley. Solo Don Henley, yes. I can see you. Your brown skin shining in the sun. What an apropos song to sing today. As summer is ending today, summer is going to be done. And then fall will just fall on top of us. I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer have gone. Now he's gonna sue me because I hear he's pretty litigious with the whole... Didn't the Eagles sue someone about a year ago that owned a restaurant in Mexico calling themselves the Hotel California? And, well, they're like, you can't do that. And I read the story and I was all, how dare the Eagles sue someone who's just trying to make a little money, and it's a hard life. You got to make money any way you can. And come on, Eagles, you got enough money. Leave this guy alone. And then I found out, no, the guy also was playing, he was ripping off a bunch of Eagles stuff and claiming that he knew the Eagles, and it was the total Eagles connection. And at some point you go, wait a minute, you're just a pirate. You're just pirating people's stuff. And that's something that our very own President Trump he said that he's worried about the piracy of intellectual property, and that's one of the problems he has with China.
But we're moving things along, and we're moving them along fast.
And then the whole North Korea thing, and China and North Korea and China. And North Korea fires off bombs and whatnot, and China doesn't do anything. Okay, well, we'll get into more of that with the news, but first, just check out the website, mikesdailypodcast.com, and you'll see all the past podcast pictures and past shows and past interviews. It's all there at mikesdailypodcast.com, as well as the Amazon link. Click on that and buy whatever it is you're going to buy, and that helps us out, makes us happy. It's a wonderful thing. And there's also the PayPal. If you do that, you'll get a special greeting from all the Café Anyway characters, and we dance and laugh, and we sing Don Henley songs and get sued, and then we go to China where we can do that sort of thing because it's legal, and then Donald Trump comes after us.
We had to make the move, and we decided to make the move.
And it's all apropos. It's all apado. Do-si-do. Hey, let's get to the segment now called...
The Mic Tip.
That's right. That's the name of the segment that I have here, called The Mic Tip. And let's do it. The Mic Tip. Mike is my name. And here's a couple of things I'm going to tip you in on, too. First off, that Weird Science is a wonderful movie. It featured the music of Danny Elfman. I'm talking, of course, of Oingo Boingo. It also had in it Ian Mitchell Smith. What happened to him? Wait, no, it's Elon. I never knew how to say that guy's name. He was like the big to-do. Bill Paxton, the late great Bill Paxton, was in that movie too. That's right. He played like a punky teenager. Is this the movie that has the cool... I love this line in it. Somebody says in this movie, there's the party going on, and the guy says, we're going to bring this party to a very nice, comfortable level, or something to that effect. Anthony Michael Hall, who looks like the scariest middle-aged dude ever right now. Kelly LeBrock, rather. Let's see. He's 48 now. Elon Mitchell Smith. Not to be confused with Elon Musk, who's afraid of artificial intelligence taking over the world and killing us all. He is married to Susanna Demarie Smith. Since 1995, they've been married. Good for them. They've got, looks like they got they got a boy and a girl. And he is no longer acting, apparently. His first passion was ballet. I didn't know that. Fascinating. Well, that's what became of him. He was like the total heartthrob. He was sort of very, what's his name? Ferris Bueller guy. The guy. Ferris Bueller, whose head then got really big as he got older. He got the middle-aged bloat. Looks a lot like him. Probably there was maybe he would have ended up in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, because apparently John Hughes was a fan of his. Okay. How come I can't think of the guy? Anyway, let's get to the... Oh, we are in the segment. All right, so now we get to some news here. Matthew Broderick. Oh, that was going to bug me the rest of the show. Thank you. Your thoughts pierced through the podcast wall and got into my brain. All right, what's going on here? North Korea. Nikki Haley, who I have a crush on, the U.S. ambassador. Our U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Our U.S. amb to the UN. She said today that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un was, quote, begging for war as she urged the UN Security Council to adopt the strongest sanctions possible to stop Pyongyang's nuclear program. Speaking at a Security Council emergency meeting, Haley said, not to be confused with our Haley, who's been on the show many times, the Daily Haley. We're talking Nikki Haley said although they spell their names the same. Haley said North Korea's 6th nuclear test was a clear... If Haley and Nikki Haley... let's see. If Nikki Haley married Haley, would he become Haley? And he took her name... Anyway. Café Anyway. Is where we are. Where all the crows are. Back to this wonderful news segment called the Mike Tip. The strongest sanctions and the emergency meeting with the Security Council, Haley said, North Korea's 6th nuclear test was a clear sign that, quote, the time for half measures from the UN had to end. Enough is enough. We have taken an incremental approach, and despite the best of intentions, it has not worked. She began her statement by ticking through all the resolutions the Security Council had passed in response to North Korea's provocations over the past 2+ decades, making the point that the UN has been united condemning Pyongyang, but the efforts have not managed to stop its nuclear progress. She said the U.S. does not want war, but will defend itself when North Korea is issuing threats with missiles pointed at U.S. territories. War is never something the United States wants. We don't want it now, said Haley, but our country's patience is not unlimited. We will defend our allies and our territory. All right, back to Donald Trump and the big thing going on, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Program, or DACA. DACA. Just the weirdest, what do you call it? Not anagram, acronym, thank you. DACA. Trump is apparently going to repeal it tomorrow. Now, let me tell you what is about to shake down if he does that. Okay, first off, if he goes through with ending protections for young immigrants who were brought into the country illegally as children, influential Republican lawmakers have signaled support for DACA, which was instituted under the Obama administration these 5 years ago, and Democrats are overwhelmingly united in their effort to preserve the program. A Republican from Oklahoma by the name of Senator James Lankford, he said it is right for there to be consequences for those who intentionally entered this country illegally. However, we as Americans do not hold children legally accountable for the actions of their parents. My friend, it is as simple as that. It's as simple as that. It's just that simple. And why Trump has got to go down this road, he's not smart. At least 2 states are threatening to sue if Donald Trump decides to cancel the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Program, DACA. Attorney General of Washington, Bob Ferguson, a Democrat, said today that his state will sue Trump if he ends the program. Period. Well, actually, no, comma, which shields from deportation undocumented immigrants who were brought to the country as minors and received work permits. If President Trump follows through on his reported decision to cancel DACA after a 6-month delay, the Washington Attorney General's office will file suit to halt this cruel and illegal policy and defend DACA recipients. We have been working closely with legal teams around the country, and we expect to be joined by other states in this action. His statement comes right after New York's governor and attorney general also said their state would sue if Trump ends the Obama-era program. Now, meanwhile, speaking of Obama, he is speaking out. Obama, who implemented DACA plans to respond in posts on social media, he said as he left office he would comment on Mr. Trump's actions at certain moments where I think our core values may be at stake. Among the issues that would cause Obama to speak out was DACA, he implied. Or as he put it, efforts to round up kids who have grown up here and for all practical purposes are American kids and send them someplace else when they love this country. Mr. Obama executive order defers deportations for people who came to the U.S. undocumented as children. Almost 800,000 people are in the U.S. now because of it. Mr. Trump is expected to end the program by not accepting new permits and by allowing existing permits to expire with no opportunity to reapply. The message from the White House to Congress is that if lawmakers like DACA, they should write legislation for it, and the White House will consider it, likely favorably. Interesting. Okay. And let's get out of that topic of DACA and into this waka world of televised religion, televangelists, and a guy named Pastor Joel Osteen. Is that how you say his name? Osteen? I don't care. He was on C-SPAN last week, I remember, talking to the beautiful Greta Bronner. There's been so much misinformation about the church this week, I wanted to clarify some things, he said yesterday morning to his big Lakewood church. On most Sundays, the megachurch draws some 16,000 worshipers. 16,000. Not this week. The Hope for Houston special services held in the wake of Hurricane Harvey. Basically, their parking garages were empty. In the days immediately following the hurricane, the church was criticized for not opening its doors as an emergency shelter. Lakewood Associate Pastor John Gray explained on Facebook and Instagram that, quote, flooded highways had made the church inaccessible. Those posts have since been deleted because the internet fired back. A widely circulated videos and photographs showed the church's entrance and parking lot had no signs of flooding. Tuesday last week, amid nationwide backlash, Lakewood Church welcomed several hundred evacuees and issued the following statement: "We've never closed our doors. We will continue to be a distribution center for those in need." The final conflicting blow landed on Wednesday when Osteen appeared on NBC's Today Show. "We were just being precautious," he said, "but the main thing is the city didn't ask us to become a shelter then." Yesterday, Lakewood's two services each drew between 1,000 and 1,200 worshipers, far less than the 16,000 they usually get. Lakewood regulars report that Osteen typically preaches 20 to 30 minutes Sunday. During his first Hope for Houston service, his message ran, how many minutes? 20? 30? Nope. 6. At the 8:30 service, the crowd cheered after Osteen offered to clarify the church's position. "I know y'all love me. You need to get on social media. This building flooded in 2001 when the Rockets were still playing basketball here. It was over 5 feet of water in this lower bowl. Knowing that, when we took possession, we installed large floodgates around the building. The water, he said, came within a foot or two of reaching the new gates and flooding the building again. So it receded late Sunday, maybe early Monday. We felt it was safe to start taking people in on Tuesday. I don't mind taking the heat for being precautious, but I don't want to take the heat for being foolish. As we go outside a Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Oh, I forgot to mention, we're in Podcastro Valley today. Two quick little tech stories I'd like to throw at you, if you don't mind. Apple, we mentioned last week that the new iPhone 8 is going to be $1,000. They were saying $999. Well, is that true? 9? It's not 99 Luftballons. It is, in fact, going to be more like $1,200. Yes. Leaks from China suggested the iPhone will be available in only 2 storage configurations, including 128 gigabytes and 256 gigabytes, while the iPhone 7s and 7s Plus will also get an entry-level 64 gigabyte option. There's a bunch of rumors popping out. Oh, okay. I see. All right, so the more memory you get, of course, that's why it's getting more expensive if you get the bigger memory one. I see. So that last story was somewhat true. At least one other recent report from Asia said the iPhone 8 will have up to 512 gigabytes of storage, although only Apple can confirm this detail. The news, who cares? This is all changing as this podcast becomes available in the iPhone store, the iPod store, what do they call it? The Apple store, through the podcast section, which it has been available to you for, I think, what now? 8 years or so? The Apple versus Google rivalry is embarrassingly one-sided in the smartwatch market. You have the Apple Watch, the only contender you'll likely see on people's wrists outside tech events like the IFA trade show, which runs through Wednesday. You might have a lesser time pieces built on Google's Android Wear software, but less than 2 weeks before Apple may introduce a new Apple Watch, this time with its own LTE mobile broadband. 3 vendors brought new smartwatches to the IFA trade show that run neither Apple nor Google software. Garmin has a watch. I think I actually owned stock in Garmin at one time. I hope I don't anymore, but apparently they're still trying to make a play. I used to have a Garmin navigational device, and as soon as I was able to get a smartphone and download Google Maps on it, I haven't used it since. It was ridiculous. Google Maps updates itself constantly. And Garmin, if you wanted to update your map, you had to download it through your computer, and it took hours, and it cost $50. It was ridiculous. I don't like Garmin, the way Garmin operates, basically, is what I'm saying. But apparently they have a smartwatch. And Fitbit. I'm all about Fitbit. In fact, one time I lost a Fitbit and told a guy at Fitbit that I had lost my Fitbit, and the Fitbit guy said, "Oh, I'll send you a new one." I go, "Do you want to be on the podcast? Get a little sponsor thing going on with the podcast?" And he said no. But I did get a new Fitbit, so that was very nice. Samsung has its Gear Sport smartwatch. So yeah, there's a couple of competitors against the Apple Watch. That's the end of the show. It was fun. I hope it was apropos to have such a good show and to have some cool visitors stop by here on this Labor Day. I hope I didn't labor too much, and I hope if you're pregnant and you're in labor right now and you're about to have your baby, that everything goes well. And thank you for listening to this podcast while you're in labor. Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Talk to you, I guess, in the morning, if all goes well. Woo!
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.